Competitive Pokemon's greatest cheating scandal. That sounds very interesting. Cheating in competitive... How do you even cheat in competitive Pokemon? I don't get it, bro. Wait, how do you cheat in competitive Pokemon? We're about to find out, I guess. There's another one of Frieza. It's one of Frieza's older videos, it seems.
Actually spend hours of their real life to do something like this. Like, what kind of person? How do you sleep at night? How do you look at yourself in the mirror and like, and still wake up in the morning being proud of yourself?
Maybe he hacked Showdown.
This situation is like nothing we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear it good? Should I up the audio or not?
Yeah, like the worst cheating scandal of all time.
The Mazar story was an elaborate cheating affair on Smogon that involved a double-kick Terrakion, the 2017 Smogon
double-kick Terrakion
getting nullified, and a fundamental change to Pokemon Showdown. Smogon
maybe he had like King's Rock, Terrakion, and like flinch people?
And games are played on Pokemon Showdown, a battling simulator where the in-game battles are replicated.
Yeah, how do you cheat on Pokemon Showdown, bro?
Is extremely
if a mon's not legal, you just can't play it.
And using a simulator lets you skip that and focus on the actual battling part of competitive Pokemon. In 2017, Mazar was having an unusually good year in Smogon Premier League, one of the more elite tournaments where you play on a team with other players in a variety of different formats like Gen 1 or Gen 7.
Yeah, you can't cheat on Showdown.
Pokemon tournaments, it is player versus player, and people often...
Maybe, here's what he did. I'm gonna make some guesses, okay? Either he's doxing people, and like mid-game they're disconnecting, or like he's getting intel somehow, because I know in like these draft leagues, intel is very important to know what your enemy teams have. So maybe he's bribing people on there to give intel. So either doxing or intel. Because you can't actually cheat on Showdown, so you need an external way to cheat.
Match, which takes place.
Maybe it's doxing. I know Minecraft was big into doxing, bro.
And it means
back when I played a bunch of Minecraft, motherfuckers dox each other all day, dude.
Busting out a new, never-before-seen tactic or idea can change the game completely, and most people spend the week preparing a new team instead of reusing an old one. This is different from other tournaments like VGC, where you have to submit your team beforehand. This is different from playing in-game, where you can look up the Elite Four's Pokemon. You can't simply look up your opponent's team when it's another human being who's also making decisions about what team to bring. You can prepare for opponents by looking up their past games and what Pokemon they like to use.
But people use Smurfs though.
But that's about it. But what was unusual about the season was the way Mazar was winning. It almost felt like every game he was having the perfect team for each matchup.
Ubers too, yo. This is my favorite. This is my favorite by the Ubers. My favorite gen.
People get good team matchups all the time. Maybe they have a good grasp of the trends of the metagame. Maybe they really analyzed their opponent's tendencies and found a pattern they could act on. Maybe they just got lucky. A good matchup can be explained just by the variance that is innate to Pokemon.
I think it's some shit to do with intel, bro. He like bribed people for intel, or he hacked Showdown to see like what teams they have or something. Like inspect element bullshit.
Mazar was running away with it. In one game, Mazar had an ingrained rest Z Geomancy Xerneas with Reflect support. That move.
Alright, so I actually played this gen. Like, I was top 10 Ubers in this gen. So let me see his set, bro. Let me see if this shit is cap. That shit is cap, by the way. Because I'm pretty sure people don't phase in Ubers. So why would he run Ingrain? Like, yeah, there's no point in running Ingrain. You just run, if you wanted to counter Xerneas, you just run like Genesect or some shit, bro. Banded Genesect will crack your skull open, dude. And then, yeah, Xerneas don't run Flamethrower for Genesect. They usually run, what, Geomancy, Thunder, Moonblast. +1. Okay, so this is weird. Running Ingrain is weird. Because who phases in Ubers, bro?
That moveset happened to completely beat his opponent's team. No real hope at all.
Why?
Ingrain means it can't be roared away.
No one runs Roar anyway.
Defense boost, and Rest means Toxic doesn't work. Basically, Mazar brought an interesting new tactic and it worked perfectly. Sometimes that happens, it's Pokemon. Then, in the next week...
Yeah, that is a very weird Xerneas set. Super weird. I never used Xerneas. I thought it was cringe. But I know 99% of Xerneas players do not run that set.
Whirlpool prevents the opponent from switching, and when you use Perish Song, you switch out at the last moment while your opponent cannot, and you get the KO. Trapping strategies work well against defensive teams because they won't do enough damage to you in the 3 turns of Perish Song to make you want to switch out early. Yet another decisive team pick from Mazar, and he gets another easy win. Later, in the semifinals, he uses an Endure reversal baton pass Blaziken to knock out Zygarde and then baton pass out to Primal Groudon. Blaziken is not a very common
You get
Pokemon
plus
at
2
all
speed on a
in
Primal
this tier
Groudon. It's
because
GG,
it's
bro.
not consistent and
It's
would definitely
insta
be considered
GG.
a risky matchup, especially to bring it in a semifinals game. Mazar would actually end up getting unlucky in the game too, but the damage was already done, and Mazar would continue to dominate the rest
Oh
of the game.
my
and
god,
pick up the
Primal
win.
Groudon plus 4
Mazar
speed,
and his
SD
team,
behind the
Tigers,
sub.
would end up
Holy
dominating the
moly,
season
dude.
too, and he finished 6-0 while playing Ubers that season. His team even made the finals of the tournament. In the finals of the tournament against Gunnar Rohan, Mazar used a stall team. Gunnar Rohan's team had nothing that could break.
I swear,
Mazar's
these
team
teams are so shit back in the day, though, bro. Blissey, the Blissey Feraldorn core, if you get caught like one time off a switch, bro, you're just dead, dude. You are straight dead. There's too many good wall breakers, dude, I feel like. Can't you just wall break this shit? Huh.
was basically
I like running
unbeatable,
Pharaoh, though.
leading to a
But
final
I don't
victory.
like doing Blissey.
As it happened, the finals ended in a tie, which meant that they would play in a final best-of-3 tiebreaker, where there's one neutral tier, and each team can pick one tier for the tiebreaker. Mazar's team obviously picked Uber so that Mazar could play in the best-of-3 because he was having an incredible season. That matched him up versus Gunnar Rohan again for the third time that season. This time in the ultimate winner-take-all. It was 1-1 in the best-of-3, and whoever won
Damn,
game
heart
3 would win
swap.
the entire championship.
My boy was
Basically,
cooking,
this was the
dude.
most important game of the season. As you might predict, Mazar effortlessly demolished Gunnar Rohan to win the championship. A crowning moment for an incredible
It's
season.
something with
But
teams, bro.
people
It's something
aren't
with teams, I know.
A lot of people didn't notice too much, and they just thought Mazar was a god. He was making the right moves and picking the right teams. But if you took a deeper look, or maybe you knew a little bit more about Ubers, you would notice that something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, like that Xerneas set is just not real, by the way.
Supernaturally good. Maybe you could get an amazing matchup once or twice, but you start raising eyebrows when it happens that often and that brutally. Some of the matchups were literally unplayable. Even before the finals, people could figure out that something was going on, and it wasn't just Mazar. But there was another character in the story, a person known as the Trap God, or TTG. TTG was also getting really
Trap
good
God, what a
matchups.
name, dude.
In a now infamous
Garantina,
game,
yeah.
he brought a double kick Terrakion versus a Focus Sash Smeargle team. Double kick's goal is to break Focus Sash.
Oh,
but
double
because
kick
it's a
versus
weak move,
Smeargle.
The only
Okay.
Pokemon that it hits well enough is Smeargle. Basically, in an Uber's game full of legendary Pokemon, he brought a Pokemon.
Yeah,
tailored
that's
to
so
beat Smeargle,
suspicious,
and his
bro.
opponent
He run double kick Terrakion over close combat. Does Terrakion have a free move slot? Stone Edge, CC, Swords Dance, Stealth Rocks, right? No, Terrakion doesn't even have a free move slot, it feels like. No, that's so sus. Double kick? And people don't even lead Smeargle in Ubers, by the way, bro. That's like the cringest like lead. Nah, that's cap. That's only Sticky Webs
By
teams
the time the
leads,
finals
lead
rolled
Smeargle.
around, some people had at least some level of suspicion, but no one really knew what was happening. There was no evidence, nothing to really point at, besides the fact that the
Omi
matchup was
said,
great.
yeah, double kick it. No, that's
Obvious
too
answer would
suspicious,
be,
bro.
what if someone on
That
the
is
roster
way
used
too
the
suspicious,
team?
bro.
But that wouldn't
Like,
make sense because Mazar was getting good matchups.
There's
versus
no other
everybody,
situation
not
in which
just
you run
one
double
team.
kick.
There's
No,
surely
the only
one
other
leader on
Sash
every
user in
single
Ubers is
team
what,
ready
Rayquaza?
to give Mazar information.
Because before there wasn't
And
heavy duty
that's
boots, so
how it ended,
Rayquaza runs
with
Sash.
No evidence. People pushed for their own investigations, whatever that means, but nothing really materialized. The tournament ended in April of 2017.
Rayquaza and who else?
with
Darkrai
Mazar and
maybe,
the
but
Tigers as
Darkrai
winners of
sucks.
The entire tournament. Well, until October 2017.
But
In
I
a
don't even know if
complete
double kick kills
coincidence,
Darkrai.
Someone else who was also accused of cheating and unrelated stuff decided to come clean, and they gave their Discord account and password to the tournament directors. In
What?
that Discord account, they also happened to find chat
He
logs
just straight up
that
gave their
person
whole Discord to
was
someone?
messed
I
up.
would never do that, bro.
The
I got
information
too many
from
chicks on
those
there, bro.
chat logs
I would never
were
do
with the
that.
help of Pokemon Showdown admins, cross-checked, and when Mazar was grilled about the contents of those logs, he revealed everything.
Oh, here we go.
He was
Here we go.
using a bot. Basically, back in the Stone Age, all matches were public by default, but you could make a game private in a split second by using a command after the game starts. Moreover, Pokemon Showdown displays a log of who joins your games. Obviously, people test their new teams before bringing it to a big tournament.
But don't they do it in
People
Smurf
don't
accounts?
test on the Pokemon Showdown ladder because it's too risky. Even on an alt account, someone might remember a team they fought on the ladder and your team could not be secret anymore. Most people test teams with their teammates or friends in private challenge games.
Yeah, that makes
Mazar
sense.
used a bot that could enter every single game, including private games. He had it constantly running, and with the speed of the bot, it could enter a game before you could private it. More importantly though, he did it using guest accounts.
He's low-key
on
a
Pokemon
genius
Showdown.
for that though,
If
bro.
you joined a game as a guest
He is
account,
low-key
your
a
name
genius
wouldn't
for that,
show
bro.
up in the log because you didn't have a name yet. You were a guest and you hadn't made your username yet. The Mazar bot, as it's called now, would join every single game on the Pokemon Showdown server.
Bro,
and
at that
save the
point,
game.
just give him the win. If he's smart enough to
That
create
means
a
you
bot
had
that
at
does
any
this
point
shit, bro,
tested your team,
like,
Mazar
low-key
would
give him the win, dude. I
Using
thought he
this
was, like,
information
doxing
to
people
craft
or
the
whatever, or
perfect
bribing
unbeatable
people,
team
bro.
for the matchup.
But he made a bot
You
that
always
scans
have the
every
team
single
version that
game.
you last tested with.
Yo, he's cooking,
The
dude.
bot
He's
was
legit
observed
cooking.
because it was
And at the end of the day,
information that was
people still might not bring that team they tested too. You know? This is a lot more tame than I thought. I thought it was way worse than this, bro. I thought that dude was like straight up hitting people offline mid-tournament.
Every game, they would use alternate accounts even when playing with friends, but no one knew this type of bot could even exist. A last-minute team switch would throw off the bot strategy too. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't randomly switch out the team you've been testing with all week unless you could even fathom the existence of a magic bot. Most people were looking at human.
He was
forms of
cooking, bro. He was
cheating
big brain, bro.
like
He was
leaking a
cooking.
team, so
That
they
shit
were
is
only testing
crazy
people they
cooking,
could
bro.
1000% trust. But at the end of the day, they were still testing their teams. Incidentally, the one flaw of the bot was that it wouldn't work on the OU tier, which is standard play, because the raw number of games was too much.
That's
might
why he
explain
did
how started
Ubers.
the
Yeah,
season
not many
1
people
and
played
2 of
Ubers.
OU
It had
because
players, but it wasn't that
undefeated
crazy.
in Ubers. He was also using the bot to help his teammates. He couldn't tell his teammates he had a bot that could get the opponent's team, but he could offer advice. He could say stuff like, hey, I think X is a good Pokemon versus your opponent. I noticed a trend and his teams are weak to it. Undoubtedly,
Ooh.
Mazar was able to elevate
He
his
didn't even
team
get his
too.
teams in trouble,
The
bro.
whole situation caused
Yo,
chaos for the
honestly,
tournament,
at
which
that
finished
point, you
months
gotta
ago.
give him the win, bro.
You can't redo everything because
Like-
it affected a lot of teams throughout the season. For example,
Hey, in
it
his
wouldn't
defense,
make sense to
anyone could have
award the
developed a
trophy
bot
to
at the same
other
time and done the
finalist
same thing,
team
bro. In his
Because
defense.
the Tigers only reached the finals in the first place because of Mazar. Without Mazar, there would have been a different team in the playoffs and the entire bracket would have been different. Ultimately, they decided to just nullify the result of the tournament and declare it no winner.
Damn.
Mazar would get permanently banned, and TTT was
Damn.
never actually caught, but with the double kick Terrakion, everyone knows he was in on it, so he's essentially exiled, just not literally banned.
Yeah, the double kick
Pokemon
Terrakion
Showdown
is
was
too
also
suspicious,
changed
bro.
for security.
That is the most suspicious thing
As
I've ever
of
seen in my
now, you
life,
have a
by the way, dude.
checkbox Where you can decide whether or not you want to play a game publicly or
Yep,
privately
yep, they have this
before
now,
you even
yeah.
start the game. Gunnar Rohan, who had his team stolen 4 times that season, made a video from his own point of view, which you can find in the description below. Mazar was not even the inventor of the bot. Some of his friends did. He was more of a useful idiot who was friends with the right people. In fact, it's a commonly held belief that if he didn't create the most obscenely lopsided matchups of all time, no one would have even suspected anything in the first place. But that's the way it
True,
goes
double kick
sometimes, and it
Terrakion
resulted in
is just
one of the
hilarious,
2
bro.
biggest
Like,
cheating
it's just
scandals
too
in competitive
obvious.
Pokemon history.
It's like when you blind Unite a Bush, bro. Like, if you blind Unite a Bush, obviously, yo, like, it's like no one does that, right? Here we go. That was a pretty good video, actually, bro. I thought it was way worse than it actually was. Like, you gotta give him a little bit of credit, bro. The bot idea is pretty big brain. And he could have very well lost, though, too. But yeah, matchups are important in Pokemon.